Anthony Davis, fellas, in his last 9 games, has averaged a cool 35 points, 35, 3 blocks, and over 13 rebounds. The Lakers in that stretch, if you want to extend it to a 10th game, are 8-2. They're starting to gain some momentum in a Western Conference that feels wide open. I mean, the Warriors right now are losing to the Pacers. My apologies. They have holes with their bench. The Nuggets have some questions with their defense and their bench. The Western Conference does not have a top dog the way the Bucks and the Celtics have shown to be. And mind you, Anthony Davis dropped 44 points on Giannis. He's one of the best matchups for him. In the half court offensively, it's a little bit tougher for Giannis given how versatile a defender Anthony Davis is. Now, guys, look, the biggest difference this year is while Anthony Davis struggled earlier in the season with a back injury, he's been playing the most center of his time in LA. 99% of his minutes this year have been locked at the center position. And for LeBron, who of course has dealt with multiple injuries, which is not a surprise in his age 38 season, he's not going to recover the same way he did in 2015. We're looking at a Lakers team that has gotten the absolute most out of Anthony Davis. Darvin Ham this year has done a pretty good job getting Russell Westbrook to come off the bench, where Russ recently has been a huge contributor. The other night versus the Wizards, his former team, he logged 15 assists. He's made huge hustle plays. And while you always can expect those defensive lapses with Russ, he's going to lose sight of his guy off ball. He's going to take a certain shot where it's like, dude, if we're going to take a 2-for-1, we don't want above the break Russell Westbrook 3. We want him to swing to LeBron or Lonnie Walker and hope one of those two guys can slash to the rim. That's an infinitely better shot than Russell Westbrook shooting 17% or whatever it is on above the break 3-pointers. Now, also keep in mind, while he did have 6 turnovers in this last game versus the Wizards, generally speaking this year, he's brought some very good energy off the bench, and that matters almost more than anything else. For you two, there have been some rumors, one by Bill Simmons, and just pure speculation by an NBA fan, that for the Lakers, you have this Russell Westbrook $47 million expiring contract. That right there is the vehicle with the Chicago Bulls being 9-14, stuck in the middle of nowhere currently, kind of like where the Orlando Magic were 2 years ago at the trade deadline, to move for DeMar DeRozan, the player that the Lakers could have signed, but ultimately decided to trade for Russell Westbrook instead 16 months ago. Would it make sense to the Lakers to hold their ground with this current group, let it play out with Russell Westbrook, let him continue to make an impact off the bench, and then see how you can stack your cards up with the likes of Patrick Beverley's contract or Kendrick Nunn's? Beverley hasn't given them anything offensively. He's making $13 million a year. Nunn hasn't been very good, frankly outplayed by Dennis Schroeder since he's come back off of thumb surgery, and that's a $5 million vehicle himself. So for Chicago, first off, not really as much Chicago. For the Lakers, should they continue to ride things out with this current team? Keep Russell Westbrook, see how much he can continue to improve, and then I want to get your initial reactions. B-Cap, I'm starting with you. Anthony Davis is showing he can take the mantle. Do you think he can sustain that throughout this entire regular season?
So to that one, I can't say it's going to be sustainable. I love what I'm seeing, but again, this is what we were talking about before the season, and even when they were struggling in the early portions. This is what we expected. I mean, we all believed AD has top 5 talent, but as Shannon Sharp says, you got top 5 effort or no, and he hasn't shown that. Now he's showing that. We all believe that AD can go and lock up a Jokic and give you 25 plus on the other end. We believe he can go toe to toe with a Giannis and Embiid, but he's got to show it and he's got to sustain it and be healthy. He's doing that now, and I hope and pray that he can continue it. In terms of Westbrook and do you blow it up now? I don't really know, man. And if I'm not mistaken, John, did that trade also include Vucevic too? It was DeRozan and Vucevic, I believe. I
It was
saw
a
that.
weird connection. You know how when the Clippers traded for Paul George, it was so they could sign Kawhi? So the Bulls traded 2 first-round picks, one in 2021, which became Franz Wagner, and one in 2023, both top 4 protected, plus Wendell Carter Jr. and Otto Porter. They got Vooch And because Vooch was a former USC teammate of DeMar DeRozan, along with Zach LaVine and Billy Donovan, he was able to kind of recruit DeMar to Chicago. In my opinion, DeMar is still going to sign there because I don't know how many other teams are offering DeMar 3 years, $85 million. But sort of an extension. But the crux of it is Vooch is on an expiring contract, and DeMar DeRozan, after the season, only has 1 year left in his deal.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. Do you really? I mean, the real question is, do you mess with what's going on right now? And Justin's nodding his head. Obviously, no, you don't, because he likes what he's saying. I don't think you mess with it either because I think it's working right now. Now, albeit it's against some porous teams, except for the Bucks, which was their biggest win of the season. But I just don't think you wouldn't mess with it. I mean, Westbrook's playing, like John said, with great energy. He's giving you the assists. Yes, he's going to make the boneheaded decisions. I think even that 15 assist night, he had 6 turnovers. It's going to happen. But and like John said, LeBron getting injured. I mean, it was good sign to see. I think it was the Bucks game where he went down and he was able to get back up. It's good to see that. I was watching that game and I even said like to myself, I was like, "Come on, get up, LeBron, get up, Bron, get up," because you're just so used to seeing it over the past 15 plus years. LeBron takes a hit. That man's Iron Man. He's gonna just get back up. So I mean, I've always said the league is better when the Lakers and LeBron are doing great, and I'm just happy to see it. I hope it sustains. I think it can sustain. But yeah, I don't think you mess with it. I really just don't think you can mess with it right now.
I think one of the biggest things about the Lakers is they're sitting at 10-12. This is a team that started off 3-10. So yeah, they're hot. They're rolling. They're playing good basketball right now. And like you said, LeBron's been in and out of the lineup, but seeing how AD has been playing has probably just been the most optimistic thing about it. You're seeing the MVP potential that we all expected out of the guy. The guy putting up 55 points in a game, what, 17 boards? The guy's an absolute madman when he's on, but the biggest question is it sustainable? Is it going to last throughout the entire season? And the answer to that, I believe, is no. I don't think you're going to see that night to night, but if LeBron's in the lineup, you don't need to see that every night. If Russell Westbrook is contributing, you don't need to see that out of AD every night. Lonnie Walker is giving you points too. Reeves is giving you some points too, playing some good basketball off the bench. I don't think you blow this up right now. I think you continue to roll. You stick around in the Western Conference unless things go drastically downhill in the next couple of weeks where you're like, okay, this absolutely has to be shifted. Then you make the trade. But if you're playing above 500 basketball and you're contending for a playoff spot, I think you roll with what you got. And then come trade deadline around the All-Star break, you make that big move that's going to put you over the top. But most importantly, it's not just about trading for a big name. It's about trading for somebody that's going to fit in with your team and fit in with your culture because names aren't going to do it. You need to find the right pieces that are going to complement LeBron, AD, or Russell Westbrook when he's leading the second unit. You need to find people that complement your team. I like the Lakers as they are. I hope they continue to play basketball the way they are. And I've said it in the beginning of the season. It's hard for me to doubt a LeBron-led team. Going into the postseason, you could just never doubt the guy. And Brandon, you said it, for 15 plus years, you're sitting there and you're always, every time he takes a shot, he's getting up. You'll never expect LeBron to leave a game with injuries. The toughest guy in the NBA. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing out of the Lakers. And I love what I'm seeing out of AD. This is exactly the perfect thing that LeBron wanted to see out of Anthony Davis. There was this MVP that can carry us when needed. And Brandon pointed out this perfectly. AD can go toe to toe with Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. That's the guy that you need to step up if you're going to take that next step. If AD isn't there, the Lakers aren't. So, and right now, look, 8-2 over their last 10. Things are rolling. Let's see if they keep it up.
You hit the nail on the head. For Los Angeles, is this sustainable? No. Anthony Davis, while he said coming to this season his goal is to play all 82 games, he's not going to stay healthy. And I feel like we all know when he does take a hit, unlike LeBron, we don't always know if he's going to get up and play. He may miss next week. Now, for Los Angeles, should they go out and make a move for DeMar DeRozan at this current point in time? No, because while AD and LeBron this year have found a way to kind of maximize Lakers spacing by holding up the front court, opposed to playing the power forward and small forward spots, it's quite clear to me the smarter decision right now would be to move Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn, who have given you nothing, for a player like Terry Rozier, who is very good in transition and a dynamic shot-creating guard that can alleviate some of the pressure. He's going to get up a lot of threes, and this Lakers offense fits in way better. And in theory, what you're supposed to get from a player like Kendrick Nunn, you will get that times 1.5 with Rozier. Rozier's on contract up until his age 31 season, but that's a dynamic, multi-dimensional scoring combo guard that in a pinch can run the offense. He can play on the ball and he can play off. That for me is the Lakers' most enticing move. The last thing I want to say is the Western Conference is wide open. So if you hold on to Russell Westbrook up until the trade deadline, when he has 2.5 months left in his deal, he's going to have more trade value. He won't be deemed as such a negative asset because you're only going to have him for like 12 to 16 weeks. So for Los Angeles, if they want to hold their assets close to their chest, while also maximizing, or should I say, reducing the cost of having to get rid of Russ, the smart thing to do is not trading him in November, but letting the season play out up until January. You hope and pray by then AD will be healthy. If he's not, your season's over, and you made this bed for yourself, you're laying it. But the difference here is there is an outside world where AD is healthy, and he's playing at a top 10 level, and if that's the case, that's what opens up the door for a team like Chicago that's reevaluating their current standing in the Eastern Conference to say, you know what, we're actually kind of interested in taking offers for Zach LaVine too. If you're going to give us a bunch of first-round picks, he's kind of been dealing with these knee injuries, coming off an arthroscopic surgery, and that for the Lakers is where a door opens up.